welcome to my channel. If you are returning, welcome back. It is so great to have you checking in with me again. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Vicky G, and on this channel, I share my experiences trying to live a victorious life. And for those who don't know, I am trying to buy my first home using the NACA program. And I've done a lot of videos about NACA, so definitely go check those out after you check out this video. I'll link a playlist down below for your convenience. So in my last video about NACA, it was a house hunting video, and I shared how, at the end of that video, I shared how I wasn't really sure what the future held, but I was still going to continue the fight to see, or continue the struggle. Well, continue to try to use NACA for a home purchase. But I was open. I'm still open to other avenues that may present itself. But one thing that NACA has done for sure, going through the NACA process, has done hands down for me, and I'm going to get into that in this video, and that is it has helped me develop a good financial situation to buy my home using NACA or any other program. So in today's video, I'm going to share 5 good money habits that I have learned from going through the NACA program, and they are habits that I continue to this day, that I see myself doing for the foreseeable future, because I have really been put in a great financial situation to buy a home, whether I use NACA or whether I don't use NACA, because of these habits. So let's get into it. So the first good money habit that I'm going to talk about today that I've gained from going through the NACA process is one that I touched on in my NACA affordability video, and that is I now pay my credit card off by the statement end date or the statement closing date. And so for those of you who don't know, the statement closing date is simply the end date of the time period of your statement. So, if it runs from the 1st through the 30th, or in this example that I'm going to pop up here, it runs from September 3rd to October 2nd. So October 2nd in this example is the closing date. And so what I've started to do is pay my credit card balance off on the closing date and not the due date. So prior to NACA, I've always been paying my credit card off by the due date. But what happened was, when I met with my NACA counselor, I think they call it mortgage counselor, my MC, she showed me that they used whatever balance was on your credit card statement as part of your debt. And so NACA doesn't go by your doesn't factor in your credit score in their determining of your eligibility, but what they do highly look at, is your debt to income ratio. So even though technically speaking I didn't have debt because I was paying off my credit card by the due date, for NACA's purposes, I did. I did have credit card debt, because when they looked at my statement, there was a balance there. So the reason why this was so key in increasing my affordability was, when I started paying it off by the closing date, my statement now would say 0. So it would always show that I had 0 due by the due date. And so when I met with my mortgage counselor again, and they saw that, there's a 0 there on the due date, then they considered that I didn't have any credit card debt, and so they were able to increase, one of the reasons why they were able to increase my affordability. So a good money habit now that I have established from going through NACA is that I pay my credit card off by the closing date. Now, what I have seen, because I do that, it has improved my credit score, which I wasn't really counting on that, but that was definitely a bonus. So yes, if you are able to, pay your credit card off by the closing date, and it will help you increase your NACA affordability, as well as possibly improve your credit score. All right, let's get into habit number 2. So the second good money habit that I have developed from going through the NACA process is that I have saved a reserve. Now, this is not the same as a emergency fund, though I've saved for that too. An emergency fund is 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. A reserve is different. It's one mortgage payment. And the reason why I saved a reserve is when I first started with NACA, I was trying to get a multifamily. And I quickly realized from, the process that I actually can't afford a multifamily with the affordability and all of the other aspects. So, however, because I was trying to get a multifamily, one of the requirements is that you have a reserve. You have at least 1 month's mortgage for pipes breaking, or if you don't have a tenant occupying one of the units, or any other myriad of things that can go wrong when you are a landlord. And so the reason why that's a good money habit is I now have also let me interject here and also say that with an emergency fund, you that is a true emergency, something you really don't want to happen, and you're just saving for in case you lose your job, or a health problem or something catastrophic that you really hope doesn't happen. The reserve is for something that you are expecting most likely is going to happen. As a landlord, there is a good chance that one of your units might not get rented. There is a good chance you're going to have to fix something. Home ownership, from you most likely going to have to fix something. So yes, so the reserve is there for the incidentals or things that come up that you're going to use it for. So having a reserve keeps you from using your emergency funds and also using your day-to-day living expenses to pay for these things. And so that is a wonderful, wonderful habit that I'm so glad that I've learned from NACA, because now I do have money set aside for home things, home problems that might happen, as well as I have my emergency fund that I have in case, something catastrophic or unfortunate happens. So good money habit number 2 is having a reserve. Okay, now on to good money habit number 3. So, good money habit number 3 is also something I talk about in my affordability video, and that is having a budget, using a budget. And of course, it only makes sense that it is a good money habit. It is the most basic of money habits, and that's just simply having a plan for your money. So, NACA, big on budget. I mean, part of qualification is creating a budget. And so that has been a great money habit. Now, I generally, prior to NACA, was using a budget, but because of NACA, I most definitely was more focused on the budget, because I, in my personal situation, had to do payment shock. And I have a video about payment shock. So if you see from that video, there was, in my personal opinion, for me, it was a significant amount of payment shock. And so having to save payment shock for, I believe it was 6 months that I had to show evidence of my payment shock, required me having a budget and having a plan for my money. First of all, a budget helped me to see where I could save, like where I could cut back on, and then it helped me make a plan for how I was going to save, what I was going to do. So, yes, budget, budget, budget. Have a plan for your money, see where you can save. It's just been a life changer, and that's really why I've been able to have a reserve and an emergency fund, is because going through the NACA process, I had to have a budget. And so that feeds into good money habit number 4, and that is sticking sticking to the budget. So yeah, I really thought of myself as good with money, but it wasn't until going through this process where every month I had to submit my paperwork and show, hey, I actually am saving my payment shock. Hey, I actually do have my reserve. And so because I was just really focused and intensely, driven to make sure that I met all the, checked all the boxes, met all the metrics and all that stuff, I stuck to my budget. I stuck to my grocery budget. I stuck to my eating out budget. I mean, I stuck to it. So a good, I'm not even going to say good, I'm going to say great, awesome, fantastic money habit that I have gained from going through the NACA process is sticking to a budget, sticking to my budget. And last but most definitely not least is good money habit number 5. Going through the NACA process has taught me to live on less. And like I talked about just now, I had to have a reserve when I started off because I was trying to get a multifamily. I had payment shock. I had to meet every single month and still have to meet moving forward until I purchased my home. And so because of that, I was able to save a reserve. I was able to save an emergency fund. I was looking back on my paperwork and I have been living on half of what I take home. Y'all, half. Half. That is crazy. Crazy. When I started off with NACA, no. In fact, that's one of the reasons why my affordability was so low. Because they were just like, you spend everything you make. So, yeah, no. So I will go into more details about ways that I've been able to cut back and how I am able to live on half in another video. But yes, living on less, great money habit. If you are needing to build up a cushion, save for a down payment, save for retirement, save for anything, quite frankly, a car or a vacation, going through the NACA process has really honed me in on and helped me build a skill on living on less. So yeah, good money habit number 5, living on less. So there you have it, the 5 good money habits that I've developed from going through the NACA process. Habit number 1, I now pay my credit card statement off by the closing date and not the due date. So, and doing that has allowed me to increase my NACA affordability as well as it resulted in helping me increase my credit score. And habit number 2, I have now a reserve because I was going through the multifamily and a reserve was required. So I now have a reserve to pay for incidentals that may occur when I get my first home. Habit number 3, I have a budget. I have a plan for my money, and having that plan helped me to save for my reserve as well as save an emergency fund. So yes, having a budget, good money habit number 3. Good money habit number 4 is sticking to that budget. I've really developed a great skill set to stick to my budget for my money so that I'm able to save for the reserve, save for the emergency fund, as well as ride into good money habit number 5, the greatest, the best, the mind-blowing one for me, and that is living on less, and specifically for me being able to live on half of what I am bringing home, which is just incredible. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. So, good money habit number 5, living on less. And so if you want me to go into any more detail in any of the money habits that I shared today, please put it in the comments below, as well as if you have good money habits of your own that you want to share, put it in the comments down below, and let's help our entire community to live victoriously. All right, well, if you have made it this far and you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe, join the community, let's live victoriously together, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.